Hi, this is Dara, and I'm a gender therapist, but I'm also someone who identifies as non-binary. So this is one of those videos where I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about my personal journey of being non-binary. Well, some of you may know, some of you may not know. In about 2 weeks, on November 20th, I have a surgery scheduled, and it is called a reduction mammoplasty. This type of surgery is more commonly known as a breast reduction surgery. So why am I getting one? Well, this is something that is both a medical necessity, and it's also something that's going to really help me with my gender dysphoria that I have around my chest. Let me address the medical necessity part of it first, because I want to make sure everybody understands, because I've been getting a lot of questions about this, why it is that I'm doing this. I had to write it down because it's a medical term and I'm not great at memorizing things like that. So I looked at the records, like you can log into your account online for my surgeon and for my doctor. And what he specifically has listed is symptomatic mammary hypertrophy. And what this means is that I have scattered areas of fibroglandular density in my boobs. This was discovered through the last mammogram that I had. And so that, in addition to the exam that he conducted, led him to conclude that this would be a medical necessity. It'll provide me with relief physically in terms of just the soreness and heaviness that I feel from the pulling down here in this part of my body and my back, that sort of thing. He also said that this surgery will reduce my risk of breast cancer by 1/3. I'll be honest, when I went in for this appointment, I was really hoping that he would say that this was a medical necessity because it'd be great if insurance could cover this. I have felt very strongly, I would say ever since my early 20s, which is about 20 years ago, that I wanted to have a reduction surgery. I didn't know why, I just knew that I didn't feel comfortable with the size that they were. And so this is something that earlier this year, I finally started really seriously thinking about. I mean, obviously money is a concern. It's a concern because it is a surgery. And so that's why I finally made an appointment to be able to follow through on this and see, is this really something that I need to have? Not only because I'm uncomfortable, which is a big reason to do it, but what are some other reasons that maybe are important as well? So the process involved me going, first of all, to my physician. And actually this was the first time I visited this particular physician, and I told her about my desire to follow up on this and see what happens. So she said, first of all, let's go ahead and make sure you have a current mammogram done. And then she made sure I had a referral to the surgeon that I was going to go visit. And so that's how that part of the process went. I went to the consultation with the surgeon and I let him know honestly, I just really want to see, what do you think? Is this a surgery that I could really benefit from? So it turned out that he said yes. And then I really realized then that I'm going to go ahead and make this a reality. Insurance went ahead and approved coverage for it, and I actually have a $0 deductible, which as far as I know, that means I won't be paying anything out of pocket for it. Okay, so here we are now, a couple weeks before surgery. How am I feeling about it? So I would say I'm now in the stage of feeling probably more excited than nervous. I've been talking to a lot of people who've had this surgery or had similar surgeries to see what their experience has been like. Everybody's different how they're going to respond to having this surgery in terms of healing and the anesthesia and the pain and things like that. So I finally got to the point where I think I've saturated myself with enough information, because I can also take in too much information and then it just makes my head explode. So I think when it comes to that part, I'm settled down and I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm in store for. And all I can do now is plan for the things that are within my control, and I have to let go of everything else. So here's what I feel like has been in my control. I've been making a list for a couple weeks now about what it is I need to do as I get closer and closer to surgery. There's certain herbals that I take, like fish oil, that my naturopath let me know that I need to stop taking. There's certain herbals and foods and things like that that will be helpful for me after surgery for my healing. But there's also certain stuff that I want to be sure I don't ingest before surgery because it might cause my blood to thin. So a combination of information from my naturopath, from the surgeon's office, and then good old internet. I have been starting to gather together the information I need to have so I know what's my food shopping list going to look like, what's my meal planning going to be like afterwards, that sort of thing. So something else that is within my control is to make sure I have someone with me during my healing stage. And so this would be my wife, and we made sure that this would be a week during which she could take off of work and that I could take off of work too. So we chose the week of Thanksgiving on purpose because that's a week where we both generally tend to not work as much. So I'm having the surgery the Monday of Thanksgiving, which means then she'll be home with me. She's going to be able to be there for whatever it is that I need. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of sitting around watching Netflix, but also from what I've heard, it could be something as simple as me wanting to reach up and grab a glass so I could get some water, and I'm going to need her to do that for me, especially the first few days because of the surgery I would have just gotten is not going to allow me to do things like this. What else I feel has been in my control is me getting into a good headspace when it comes to the fact that I'm going into surgery, and me being able to have as low anxiety as possible. So I have been listening to a particular meditation on YouTube, which I will put in the link in case you're interested. It does have to do with, it's like 15 minutes long. I've been listening to it probably 3 or 4 times a week, and it's this guy with a really calming voice, and he kind of tells you to go into this place of comfort and healing, and he tells you about the light that's going to surround you during your surgery. I really believe that if I get my energy in a calm place like that before the surgery, it's going to help me through the surgery, and it's going to help me with my healing afterwards. This same guy made a video to help with healing, a meditation that you can listen to afterwards to help with healing. So that's something that I plan on listening to as well. Oh, something else that I wanted to make sure I looked into. So when it comes to the narcotics that, or there was a narcotic that I was prescribed that I was going to take after the surgery, and it's called Norco, and it's also known as Vicodin. And I'm pretty sure I've never taken Vicodin before. I know that sounds weird, but I had a C-section when I had my daughter, and I've also had a tonsillectomy. So with the tonsillectomy, I know I took Tylenol with codeine, and the C-section, I don't actually remember what I took during that. So all I know is that I'm really sensitive to medications. I take Sudafed, and I'm up till 3 in the morning and I can't sleep. I take Zyrtec, and I get such mental confusion. Just trust me, it's not pretty. Yeah, so what that means is that I was feeling kind of weird about taking Vicodin. So I called the nurse at the surgeon's office. I told her my concern, and she said, you know what, you are not gonna really be in that much pain. She switched my prescription. She mentioned Tylenol. I said I can handle Tylenol with codeine. It just makes me feel really out of it, which is not a feeling I like, but it doesn't send me into a psychosis or at the most it'll be like a mild depression. So she wrote a prescription for that instead. So that was cool. I was really worried about that, and now I have that taken care of. The other thing I was thinking about is that after surgery, you are given what is called a surgical bra. So like I mentioned, I'm non-binary, and for me, my chest has been a source of dysphoria. I didn't realize it's been for probably over 20 years, but definitely I have known this for the last couple of years. So the word bra just sort of brought up my antenna, and I was like, I do not want to wear that. I have worn a sports binder for probably over 2 years now, and I really like it. And I mean, it has helped me up until this point, until I could get surgery. I do not ever wear anything with the word bra in it ever again. So once again, I called the surgeon's office, and they were pretty cool. They said, wear whatever you want, bring in whatever you want to use. We are fine with that. So then, but they didn't give me any guidance really. So then I went online so I could look at, what is a surgical bra? What does it do? How do I make sure I get something else that's going to be comparable, but it feels more like a binder? So I did find something on Amazon. I'll put the link here with the video. I'm going to be getting it in the mail before my surgery because I want to try it on and make sure it fits okay. But it got a lot of good reviews, and I think that that's going to be something that's going to help me feel more comfortable instead of less comfortable during the recovery part of my surgery. So I would say, in conclusion, again, a lot of people have been really cool asking me questions about my surgery and just trying to feel out how I feel about it and why I'm getting it. I wanted to make this video so I could explain both sides of it. That yes, this is a medical necessity for what I'm doing, but it is absolutely going to give me relief, and I'm going to feel more comfortable in my body. I'm so excited about both parts of that, equally so. Well, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave any comments if you have any other thoughts or ideas for me or questions. Like, I'm being very open about this process because, like I said, I know there's people out there who are non-binary who may be thinking about this, who were assigned female at birth. There's also cisgender women who are thinking about this, and maybe you have loved ones who are thinking about doing this as well. I want it to be an open book so I can help educate and teach other people through my own experience what this might be like. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to be alerted as to when I create more videos.